Alright guys, let's talk about AMP on the channel once again. Now I need to go ahead and give you a heads up warning and probably give you a spoiler that basically if AMP isn't above 1.2 cents, nothing's happening guys. You can see here we do have resistance that's been holding us down for a couple of months already pretty much. And you can see that this is just making lower lows. These little blue lines here just show you that it's just kind of bouncing down along the way. And it's even recently lost the 0.0047 mark and only to really reclaim that today. Now keep in mind this green line is a weekly resistance or support as it is at the moment. Now if we look at this on a weekly time frame, that would really be the time frame to look at this on. So it is getting a bounce off this, but on a daily time frame it did lose this for a couple of days. So that is not really good. Now let me show you this chart basically for the last like 3 years. You can see that, okay, there are a few wicks, and there was a very large wick back in March of 2024, all the way up to about 2.4 cents. But that's just what it is, guys. It's pretty much a wick. And we've gotten rejected here, you can see, several times along the way. So basically, until it's above 1.2 cents and it's closing at least weekly candles above that mark, then there's really nothing to get excited about. Unfortunately, guys. Really unfortunately. Now, there is maybe just one thing I can say that is kind of positive, that you are kind of making higher lows on a weekly time frame. So, okay, this would be the low here. You do have the next higher low, and probably, this could be the beginning of the next higher low here. So, let's see what happens. I'm not too positive on AMP right now. I don't think the SEC has dismissed the case against AMP. If they have, I'm just not aware of it. Nobody really talks about AMP much anymore. But I do believe once the lawsuit is dismissed with AMP, you probably will see this pump quite a bit. Now, that could be when it starts to hold candles above 1.2 cents. So, yeah. Now, let's take a look here at the tokenomics of AMP, guys. And basically, there is almost 100 billion max supply. Circulating is about 84% of that or so. And yeah, I mean, all-time high, guys. If we go down to this, you're still getting a 95% discount pretty much here. It was at just over 12 cents. And yeah, probably not going to hit that until the lawsuit is over, unfortunately. Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin here at $85,229 at the moment. The gap, CME gap, has not been totally filled, guys. So I need to go ahead and really warn you about that. It does extend down to about $76,510, which is all the way about here, guys. I'm just going to put my cursor here. I know it's not exactly. So we haven't really filled that gap just yet. So there's still a danger that we could come down a little bit more to fill this gap. Those gaps, like 98% of the time get filled. So we filled half the gap on the way down this time. And, I hope that we fill it probably in the bear market, which, probably is about, at least half a year away. The more we do this, the more we dip and come down, guys, I just think we kind of prolong this bull market. So by us going down and scaring everybody out, if we don't see any really reaction to the upside shortly, if we come back in this trading range again and kind of consolidate, I just think we're kind of prolonging it. So now I don't think it's going to last more than 2025. But my original thesis was that probably before summer we need to start selling. So I'm still standing by that. I still think summer might be the time where we need to start scaling out. But if we dip down and just kind of hold this range and we hold it for a much longer period, then yeah, maybe in the fall next year, or even, beginning of winter, we might need to start selling, guys. So let's see what happens. Not looking good, though. On a weekly time frame, we really need to reclaim this 93.6. That is the lowest weekly support that we have, but that's probably not going to happen before tomorrow, guys. Now, I would, personally, I'd be happy if we just closed above 87,150 and we, found this as support. Now, keep in mind, this is a daily support, so it's not much support. You can see we just kind of blew right through those three here. And but we also blew right through, 2 weekly supports as well. So anyways, let's take a quick look at Ethereum, guys. Now, basically, you can see that this trend line has basically held Ethereum up for several years. And it's right now resting on this line. Just, you can see it. If I zoom in, guys, it's right there. So if it loses it, that is not a good sign. So let's hope it can keep above this trend line. Now, another thing that I noticed with Ethereum, guys, this is basically a triple top here. I know this, little peak is a little bit higher than these two, but in my opinion, this is a triple top. Now, you can see it also had a top over here, a couple of tops. And yeah, basically Ethereum, once you get to that point, guys, above about a little more than $3,800 to $4,000, that's probably the area to sell, because it really hasn't spent that much time above that point. So you can see this little, little spike here was only a few weeks or so, maybe 6, 7, 8 weeks. And then it came back down below these levels. So we are way below that right now. So if you're buying Ethereum, you can almost make double on it. But yeah, I'm just not so positive about Ethereum, unfortunately. Now, total market cap, guys, actually excluding Bitcoin, it looks like we do have like an inverse head and shoulders. And now it's a little bit slanted here, but it still is maybe an inverse head and shoulders. So let's see what happens. I don't want to measure this because it's kind of hard to measure these at a a slant. But just looking at this with my bare eyes, guys, it looks like it would take us up here to about 1.14 trillion. And yeah, then we need to probably break through that. So taking a look at the dominance, guys. Oof, again, you can see it's just making higher lows here now. And that is not a good sign. So we are starting to get, a red candle here. I'm really hoping we start to come back down. So we really need to take out the 60.46 level, which actually has supported this dominance several times along the way. This time right here was very close, guys. Now, like I always say, I could probably readjust this and maybe come closer to that, point where it came down. But in my opinion, it pretty much hit the line and got support there, guys. Now, there is a long-term, trend line that let me put this on a weekly time frame, it would be better and more quick. Now, you can see we did deviate here when we had kind of our mini altcoin season. And this extends all the way back to November of 2022. So basically, this trend line kept us up. We got faked out a couple of times. Everybody got excited. And yeah, now it looks like we're probably at a top, I think. In my opinion, this will start to come down soon. And there's no reason why we shouldn't come back down to these levels, between at least about 47% down to even like 39%. So, once you start to see like 47% and things like this, it might be a good time to just start scaling out. But we haven't even got close. We've gotten down to what here on this wick about, let's just say 55%. So yeah, I mean, okay, we were within about 8% of that, but that's far when you're talking about dominance, guys. Now, taking a look at the liquidation heat map, guys, not much going on in the last 24 hours, only 200 million wrecked. Now, February, worst February we ever had. Well, not ever, but, 2014 is kind of a, Wild West times. Now, in recent, history, if we say like the last 10 years, guys, yeah, it's the worst. We had minus 8.6% here in 2020, minus 31% back in 2014, but nobody was trading this almost in 2014. So, really when you get to like 2017, 18, that's when people start to get interested. I came in 2021, right at the beginning in January. And yeah, this is, my first red February. Now, taking a look at the fear and greed, it's a 20 today, 16 yesterday. The day before that was a 10. It was worse than the FTX collapse. So, it's really crazy to see that. And I am not sure why, people are so fearful at the moment. We still have an $85,000 Bitcoin, and people are more fearful than FTX collapse. It's just amazing, in my opinion. Now, altcoin season. Let me just refresh this and see if this is going up any. Oh, it went down. So, a little bit interesting here. I'm not sure how often they update this, but we just fell back to a 31. Now, earlier today, it was down here at like a 27, guys. You can see over here on the screen. Yeah, it was at a 27. I refreshed it, a couple of hours ago or so. Went to 35. Now I refresh it and it's at a 31. So, that's due to the dominance, guys. And if I go back and that's not there. Okay, it's the dominance here. Let's put this on a 4-hour time frame and zoom in again. Yeah, you can kind of see that. Yeah, maybe in the last 4-hour candle, this is probably why it went down, because it spiked up. But now it's going down, guys. So this could rapidly change and go back. So let's see what happens, in the next few hours. Again, I'm not sure how much, they refresh this. So the bull market peak indicators, guys, sell at the top. There was one actually hit yesterday. It was the days of ETF net outflows, and it was supposed to be 10 or more days, I think. And I think yesterday there was probably inflows. So this actually, was checked yesterday when I was at the fitness center, but now it's X'd, so I guess we had a day of inflows, so it kind of canceled it out. This is kind of a stupid indicator in my opinion, but, it's an indicator, I guess. Now, Pi Cycle top indicator, you can still see it hasn't crossed at all. Still not even close. I'm not sure why it's not zooming in so well, but yeah, maybe it's because I have, zoomed out on my screen actually. But anyways, you can see it's not crossed. It's very easy to see that. Now, this week we do have PMI. We do have ISM numbers on Monday. Tuesday, just, one FOMC member speaking. Wednesday, we do have PMI, factory orders, ISM numbers, ADP non-farm employment change here. Now, Thursday, we do have jobless claims, non-farm productivity, and we do have a couple of speakers here. Now, Friday is probably the most important days, guys. From all the days next week, you do have non-farm payrolls. So, and you do have basically a few speakers here, and you do have average hourly earnings and things. But non-farm payrolls, this is the most important thing next week. Now, crypto bubbles. It says today is green. You can see this is outlined in green. So yeah. It's more green than red, although we just have a few big green ones here, basically. But I guess that outnumbers the red in some way. But in my opinion, it looks maybe a little bit more red than green. Anyways, if you want to stake your coins, guys, go to Coinondo. You can type in Bitcoin or whatever. It will show you the days you need to stake it and what your limits are. Do your own research there. Don't lock your coins up for too long, guys. And yeah, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell, share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.